Hello, this is Dana, and in my 5-minute demonstration today, I thought I'd introduce you to Excel tables. What I like to say a table is a list on steroids, because if you convert a list to a table, you can do more with it. All right, so in 2007, Microsoft introduced a larger sheet. So instead of giving you 255 columns and 65,536 rows, they now give you 16,384 columns of data and 1,048,576 rows of data. So when Excel did that, they had to give you a way to make Excel act more like a database and a little bit less like a spreadsheet. So when they finally came to demand and said, okay, we're going to give you more than that 255 columns, what they had to do is make Excel act more like a database, more like Access. All right, so they introduced something called tables. So I'm going to do a control home and get myself back up to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this list to a table so I can do more with it. To do that, I'm going to click anywhere inside the list. I'm going to come on up to my Format as Table button on my home menu, and I'm going to pick any of these styles. Now, these styles are coming from your themes, and I do have a video in regards to creating a theme, but I use PowerPoint for it, but it'll show up here if you create themes. But anyhow, pick a format, any format, and it should pick up that your table has header rows if your header row is formatted differently in some way. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And for the formatting alone, it's worth it because it shades every other row a different color. If you have ever done this manually, you know you don't want to insert just one row because your shading would be off for the rest of the table. But here it is not, which is fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in Dana's workshop as my information. I'm in the state of North Carolina, which is in the southeast. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing that. It's got to recognize it. So until I get over to the E, it doesn't distinguish whether I want the southeast or southwest. But now it's picking it up, so I can just tab on over. I'm going to show you how to copy Austin into this cell. I want Austin in that cell, and instead of typing an A, and it should auto-complete to Austin, if I type in AU, but an easier way, since it's right above it, is to just hold down your control and hit your apostrophe. That'll copy the previous cell. I'll do that again, control apostrophe. I'm going to buy that Bluetooth speaker. It is the month of April, so I'll just go ahead and type that in. My order date is going to be today, so that is a control semicolon to get today's date to pull from your computer down here. And when is it going to ship? I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to ship in a little bit. It's not shipping right now. All right, the quantity, how many do I actually want to purchase? Well, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm just going to purchase 14 at 150. And something fabulous about a table, it had already copied down my formula. I didn't have to copy that down. So it's really, really nice. Another great thing you might have noticed in regards to this table is it does add the sort and the filters. In addition to the sort and filter buttons, as I scroll through this list, it locks in the column headings. Yay! All right, but this is even better than freeze panes, if you know what freeze panes is, because freeze panes is great, but this is even better. And the reason it's even better, let me go ahead and go down to the bottom. If I were adding a new row of data, they stay locked in. And if I hit my tab key, what's kind of nice is my table ends right here currently. But the moment I hit tab one more time, tab will not take me to column L. It'll take me down a row and add a row. And see that formula being pulled down. So I'm just tabbing through here, and it's adding rows of data, keeping that shading, pulling down any formulas that I have. If you were to create formulas on your own, there is a little bit different of a syntax, and that's one of the benefits as well. It uses database syntax if you're actually creating formulas. All right, so the headings are locked in. That's fabulous, so that you can sort and filter. It has this really, really great feature up here on the design menu called the total row. And if I turn that on, what happens is it automatically sums up what's in that last column. And how that is beneficial is that number is actually using a different type of formula. And the cool thing about that is if I filter this list, and I'll just go ahead and filter for April. All right, and that was 2016, sorry, that I was in. But that total is actually accurate for the information that I'm on. So if I go ahead and deselect that, and I'm going to go ahead, or I can clear the filter that way as well, but then you'll see it's a much larger number. So this is just a brief introduction to tables and what you can do in tables. They are absolutely fabulous. I highly recommend that you take all of your lists and convert them with tables. You can do a lot more, but this is just an introduction. Thanks, everyone.